Pause.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we are here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Inspo pod. We've got my lovely, gorgeous Mhairi here.
Hello.
Beautiful Mhairi. Back again for another ep.
Couldn't keep me away.
So we're actually at the end of a season, which is amazing. Season 1 of the Inspo pod. This is episode 10. It's amazing. How are you?
Really well, very happy. Been on 2 holidays in the past 2 weeks, so yeah,
love it.
Really, really nice.
I love it. You do look very glowy.
Thank you.
She looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So do you, Beth, as always.
Mine's just the light. Mine's cheating. You've got a natural glow. So guys, just to let you all know, if you're watching on video, we're in a change of scenery. We are at Brewdog in Waterloo. Am I shouting?
No. But we have so much amazing tech set up here. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. So yeah, Brewdog at Waterloo, they have this amazing section called the podcast project. I can't say that. The podcast. The podcast project. We'll get that right. And today, at the time of recording, it's International Podcast Day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a little cheers with our little iced coffees to everyone for International Podcast Day. At the time of listening to this or watching this, it won't be this day anymore. But 30th of September, International Podcast Day. Love that. So we are here highlighting the growth of the industry and just celebrating really what podcasts can do. And just how they're a way of connecting people and inspiring and entertaining. And yeah, that's why we're here. So in this episode, we're going to have a little look back at the journey of this season. And then we're going to delve into some themes around spirituality, because it's something that's prevalent in both mine and your lives.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, let's get into it. So where should we start?
I know. I think I want to say thank you for having me back on as well, because I absolutely loved doing our episode last time, and it's just amazing to see you grow. And like from episode 1, where it's the first time doing anything is always so hard, and it's always like
scary.
One of the hardest things is just the first time doing something, and like just to see you get more slicker and get some amazing guests on.
Don't know about that.
And it's just really, really cool to see this pod already like at 10 episodes.
To see it evolving.
So amazing. Like the amount of things that I have started and just not finished, and you really have like powered through. So it's really cool.
Thank you. Oh gosh, now I feel awkward. How nice. Also, I'd like to say we're celebrating this by wearing the same outfit.
Yeah. God.
I'm just looking at us and we're like...
Well, I mean, it was quite nice though, because we were both like full glam Monday morning.
Yeah,
like,
love it.
This is the life of freelancer. It's like Monday morning and we're like, okay,
full glam.
Full face.
Oh. We've got balloons. I love it.
That happened last time on...
I love it.
On our recording. Yeah, okay.
We've also got our little matching badges for Brewdog. Got to,
kindly
provide the love. And they also provide you with really nice beers. They do really nice beers here at Brewdog. I love it here.
They're so good. Actually got me into beers, like before drinking Brewdog. Like I never would have had an IPA. Like I'd have had like a lager when I was traveling, but I would never have an IPA. And then like the Brewdog ones have been like, okay, they're actually nice. Yeah, I love it here. It's such a good venue as well. So for anyone that's listening that's in London, definitely head on down. It's actually massive. They've got a slide, they've got bars, they've got coffee, they've got bowling, they've got pizza, you name it. So yeah, we're here to share the love of Brewdog. But yeah, thank you for your kind words about the podcast. Cool. It's been a journey, and yeah, I guess from before I started to here, it's probably about a year, and I feel like there's been a massive change. I feel like it's been so much, like my confidence has grown massively. Obviously, massive thanks to you as well. You were one of my first guests, and
someone that obviously inspires me, which is why you're on it. Because obviously you do a lot of acting and a lot of wonderful things that really inspire me to want to do something that I love. So yeah, big thank you to you.
We're always supporting each other, and that's like the best.
This is what I love, is having friends that you just want the best for each other. And I think that's why we've always stayed in each other's lives, is because no matter what happens, you want the best for each other at the end of the day, which is just so nice. Get yourself a friend like Barry,
like Bethany. Genuinely, we really always back each other, which is great.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, I guess I don't know where to start really with like how this has progressed. I mean, is there anything you want to ask me about the podcast, or is it anything, I don't know?
Yeah,
you lead the way.
So what has,
I hate talking about myself.
What is like the inspiration? So what are the other podcasters or pods that you are inspired by?
Good question. So I think I've mentioned a few podcasts on previous episodes actually, but I'll kind of round them up into one. And I want to start actually by saying the reason I started this with kind of minimal training and I just kind of went for it, is because a lot of the podcasts that I love are very authentic, and like a lot of them are not polished. So a lot of the podcasts that I've listened to from the beginning, where it's like they're in a bedroom recording, which is what I do, which is kind of what inspired me really to just start and just get going. So I'll share a few with you. So one that I love for business is one called The Side Hustle Pro, by Nicola Matthews, I think her name is. And that was what inspired me to kind of look into doing voiceovers and podcasting. And she talks a lot about just how to have a side hustle and how to make it eventually make money, which is obviously really, really useful. Obviously, my side hustles currently don't make me any money, which is why you all need to like and share and subscribe. But it's really helpful to kind of listen to someone who has that kind of business mind and how they've turned things into money. And she has a lot of really good guests on, and they share like their struggles and what their side hustles are, and she's just really, really authentic. So that's a really good one that I kind of started with. One that I listen to just for entertainment is Nearlyweds.
I love it. Literally,
so good.
It's so good. And whenever I'm needed pick me up, or like if I'm having a bad day, I will just go to an episode of that, and I am just laughing. It's so good.
Just they're such a laugh. Like Jamie and Sophie's relationship, I love them. It's like relationship goals. And I actually started listening to them when I got signed off work last year. So it got me through a lot of like that kind of hard time. And just gives some laughs. So that one's more of like just pure entertainment. But also if you're planning a wedding, it's obviously really helpful as well.
Or house renovation, they're doing that at the moment.
Oh really? See, I've not caught up. I'm a little bit behind. So there we go.
That's great.
So that's a good entertainment one. And one that I listen to very regularly just for life, and this one is probably the most important one to me, is Mel Robbins. And I think I've mentioned her to you a few times.
I've listened to a couple of episodes.
She's so good. So good. When I listen to her, I feel like I'm listening to my mum. Not my actual mum, but like, you know, like a mum that like is like everybody's mum. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like those kind of people who it feels like it's really personal life advice, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes I don't even know I need to listen to her, and I'll put an episode on and it will really just change my perspective on my whole day. And I'll be like, oh my God, I needed to hear that today. Like that's really helped me understand me or help me understand other people. And yeah, she's incredible. And I've also started listening to Beyond the Map by Bryony Deary, which is a bit of a new one, but I'm enjoying it. She does Pilates, and so it's obviously her beyond the Pilates mat. She interviews a lot of people about wellness and also about business. So just a little mix of everything, which is quite good.
Nice.
So yeah, that's probably my top 4 at the moment.
And then you've kind of took all these inspirations, but you've made your own, which is really like specific to like again, pulling on these resources of all these women that you've got around you.
Yeah.
So I think that, yeah, it's amazing, because I think all of us, we really value our friends, but
Yeah.
you doing this is like such a big showing of like how much you are open to learning off other people.
Honey, stop it.
I think it's good. It's so important though to learn off other people, isn't it? Not to kind of just feel like you have to figure it all out by yourself.
Yeah. And I think I didn't want this podcast to be, you know, about me either. I think it's really like a thank you to the people in my life that do inspire me, and I want other people to be inspired by the women that inspire me.
And also their own friends as well. They'll probably like,
yeah,
you know, it's also gonna really, it has for me anyway, just ignited that of like, oh yeah, look how much we already have around us, kind of.
For sure. It's a good way of saying thank you and just inspiring everybody. Everyone that wants to listen anyway. But yeah, what about you? Have you got any other podcasts other than this one, obviously?
I've listened to every episode of the Inspo pod, of course.
Love it.
Yeah, listen to my episode if you haven't already, because
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Newlyweds, I don't listen to that many podcasts. It's something I really want to get into more.
Yeah.
Honestly, partly because I lost my headphones for like a year and I didn't buy any more, and it was like a really bad time in my life.
Good excuse.
But I procrastinate and then don't do anything about the issues in my life. But yeah, I love it's Newlyweds, isn't it? Right?
So I think it was Newlyweds before they got married, and then they rebranded it. Yeah. So I've not listened to it since the wedding. So I still call it Newlyweds in my head. But yeah, it is Newlyweds, you're right.
Nice. That is my main one that I go to, really. I can't really think, yeah, other than the Mel Robbins ones. You're the one that's really got me more into pods. But I'd like to like listen to more about maybe like somewhere like about news, but that's not too depressing, like somewhere way that I can like take on some world news, but in a way that I feel is like, you know, biased, like not biased and trustworthy and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm looking out for if anyone has any recommendations.
Yeah, I was going to say, anyone watching or listening, if you've got any advice on that, drop a comment and then we can get Mhairi listening to those. Yeah, it's a good one actually, because I don't really ever consume the news, but I feel like it's because it depresses me. So if there was a way of listening to it that
could be framed with a person in a bit more of a supportive way, because it's quite traumatic listening to the news or taking the news on board. So I feel like, you know, I would need it in a format that's a little bit more kind of, I don't know, supportive maybe. Yeah, a little bit more easily digestible, I guess. Yeah. I think radio is quite good for that, but I just don't have the time to tune into radio and I don't know how to listen to radio on my phone. Yeah, I would like to listen to radio actually. I just never know how or when. And when you drive, I feel like it's easier to put the radio on. But when you don't drive and you're in London rushing about, it's like, how do I? Yeah, that would be nice. Podcasts are easier. Okay, cool. So you are quite new to podcasts then. We need to get some more for you to listen to for sure. And we need to do more episodes of this one for you to listen to. You can listen to this one back. Yeah, I'm sure I will. I had another question. Oh, go on. If I can ask. Of course, ask away. And then from here, like, what is your vision? Like, are you like, what have you learned from the past 10 episodes, and like, where do you see going? Two very big questions. Oh, okay. I am like so invested. So okay. Oh, this is so nice. I hate talking about me. It's nice when someone's actually interested. I love it. Okay, well, I'll start in the past then. So what I've kind of learned, I guess, is, and this is probably a good bit of advice for anybody in life, it doesn't have to be podcasting, it can be literally anything, is just start something. And I'm getting better at that since this podcast. I think what I did before was I'm very much a perfectionist, and it would be like, I can't do something until I'm ready. I need business like lessons. I need to do a course in something. I need someone to tell me what to do. I needed to like feel like everything was perfect. And then what I've learned is you don't need that. Just starting is the best way of progressing. And I think that, as I said, goes for anything in life. Like even like Amazon shop, I'm starting an Amazon shop. Sounds so stupid, but
I was kind of like wanting to do like a course in like selling online. I thought, you know what, just open a shop, like just sell one thing and then just go from there. Like, so I'm trying to apply it to like other things in my life. And this has really taught me that starting is the best way of doing anything, which is good.
That's really good. I definitely feel like that as well. Is like this perfectionism holds you back.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get through that, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm a very anxious person, so I'm very much like, oh my God, I need to make sure all of my anxieties are like ironed out before I get going. And then actually just starting is, you just learn as you go. Just throw yourself in at the deep end and like just do something. And the minute you do something, the next step will feel easier. Because I feel like when I started this, the first episode I did through Zoom, so nervous, I nearly cried and nearly cancelled. And then I recorded that, and then I was like, oh my God, this is so easy. And then I think your episode actually was the first one I did in person. So then I had like a new batch of nerves of like, oh my God, now I'm actually next to someone, I can't just hide behind the screen. So then it was a new set of nerves. And then once I did that one, that was easier. And then like the next step gets easier the more you do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just take step by step, just take a step, even if it's the smallest step, just take a step and you'll progress, I guess.
It's amazing.
So that's the first question. And I've forgotten what your second question was.
Like, and then where do you see it going?
Where do I see it
What's
going?
your ambitions? Your like think big, like, and then think small. Like, what's your like whole?
I mean, I've got a whole kind of life envisioned, and I have spoke about this, I think in episode 7 or 8 actually, briefly. And it's not just the podcast. I've kind of got this little life envisioned, and I'm fully, guys, in my Delulu phase. I'm gonna say that. I'm fully delusional, and I've realized that being delusional is the best way to be.
Absolutely.
Because I think, especially when you follow like celebrities and stuff, you realize a lot of these people, they were fully delusional. Like I was watching something about Kate Moss, and she had no money and she would just travel all over the country for like these random photo shoots and just made it big. And she must have had some kind of belief in herself to do that. And I think a lot of celebrities have that kind of delusional belief, and that's what gets them there. Not that I want to be a celebrity, I don't want to be famous, but I'm fully in my Delulu phase. I'm like, this is going to go somewhere. So my ideal life, I'll describe it to you. You're in it. So my ideal life would be, there's a few things, depending how well this podcast kind of takes off, but I would want to have a little gifting business online. And I've spoke about this before, but I just love the idea of like little gift boxes, and it's something I'm really passionate about. And I think it kind of would keep me, you know, doing something day to day that I love. That would be kind of one of my jobs. And then I would also be doing voiceovers, maybe once a week, twice a week, possibly traveling all over London for different, you know, voiceover recordings. And then I'd be doing it live once a week, live, not recording in advance.
Okay.
And I'd have a million let's say a million. I was gonna say 1,000, and I'm like, no, a million listeners. And that would be my ideal life, is just, I don't know, every Tuesday is podcast day. We record, we edit, we put it out to the world. The rest of the week, gift business, a voiceover here and there, travel around London, see my friends. Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be the dream.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah. I can see people walking around in the background of this. I love it.
It's gonna happen, Beth. Absolutely.
Love it. So yeah, that's the vision.
And do you still want to keep it with like all your girls coming on, or do you think you would have different guests on?
Good question. I would love to get to a place where I can interview people that I don't necessarily know. But I think I want to make it really clear though that the people I've had on are really important to me, and you guys are like who's helped me start it. I'm not gonna get emotional. But so yeah, it's not that I want to kind of change who I interview. It's more that I'd love to be in a place where I'm kind of successful enough to have people kind of reach out and say, can I be on your podcast? And I can interview them and, you know, learn about them and learn why they're inspirational, and then share that with the world like I have done with yourself and others. So I think that's kind of where I'd want to be.
And even like other small business or like medium-sized business owners who've inspired you, like women who've like started up their own business, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's key actually. What you've just said is I really want to keep it to like kind of small, people that are small business owners or doing things that, I don't want to interview like an A-list celebrity, and that's never going to happen anyway, but I don't want to do that. I want to interview people that are maybe doing things on a smaller scale, but that are really just enjoying their life. Because life, you don't have to be rich and famous to have a really good life. So I think that's also really key. And just people that are like just making it through day by day and just smashing it, I think is really,
that's so cool.
Yeah, and it seems to also be mainly women. I did originally want to interview men as well, but women inspire me more than anyone. Sorry, guys.
They didn't like make the cut. They didn't bring the level of inspo.
But yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to interview some guys. I have some in mind. Jake, in fact, Jake, if you're listening, he'll know who he is. Don't need to say last names.
That would be a great episode.
Yes, yeah. So we're not exclusively women, but women do inspire me massively. So I think, yeah, I think women have got a lot to say, and I think we're really powerful. And yeah, after years of oppression, we're come on, girl power. We're getting it. We're business owners, we're artists, we're freelancers, we're in everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, women, I find, just generally women, I find inspirational. But yeah, I would love to get some men on as well and interview them. And yeah, that's the dream.
Sounds amazing.
So yeah,
I like it. Is it a dream or is it a plan? Is it a goal?
It's a plan. It's a plan, but also I think is really important to share. And hopefully this inspires someone. But I think just enjoying the journey, because I think I used to be someone that would have a plan and a goal, and I would be like, I'm not happy until I get there. Whereas now I'm content as I am. So say if nothing progressed, I'm still happy. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I think we all need to like take a minute sometimes to just enjoy where we're at. And I think for me as well, I don't like talking about myself, but this past year, even just emotionally, life has changed, and I've changed so much, and so much has kind of happened. Like from literally this time last year being signed off work and going to my favorite place in the world, Ibiza, and having an absolute meltdown and just not feeling like myself, to then where I am today is amazing. And I think I'm just at a place where I'm just enjoying life,
Yeah.
So it's like you should have goals, you should have a plan, but I think we all need to kind of lose this idea of I'll only be happy when I've got £1 million in the bank, or I'll only be happy when there's 1 million listeners on my podcast, or whatever that might be. I think just enjoy the journey and try and get to a place where you're happy in yourself. Because I'm happy now. I'd be happy if I walk out of here and only 10 of you listen. If I inspire 10 people, that's enough for me. But we want to do more. We're going to aim high, but be content.
Really have smashed it. It's really amazing to see, and you are like glowing now. Thank
you. So are you.
It's really nice to see.
It's just the lighting.
She has an extra light to me.
The glow is artificial. No, it's not. So yeah, have you got any more questions for me? Or if not, I have a few things we can discuss.
Not off the top of my head. Let me think. You can.
Okay, well, let me ask you then, what has changed for you over the last year, and how are you feeling in life in general, and like how have you got to the place that you're in? Because you inspire me all the time. So
God, it's a big question.
Switcheroo.
Switch it up.
Switch the table so I can drink my coffee.
Yeah. It is a big question, because where are we? Like September now, so
yeah, I feel like it's like 5 questions in one. Sorry.
Yeah, so like September 2023. So I've been, I was having a full meltdown actually this time last year.
Just to note, she didn't seem like she was. I was the miserable, moody one, and she was actually fine.
So when did we go to Ibiza last
September,
year?
So literally,
it was September.
So I've also just been to Ibiza, so it's literally been it was exactly a year for me.
Yeah.
So
in August 2023, I had the whole start of 2023 was
2023 was a disaster by the sound of it.
Real, yeah. It was essential to get us to 2024, which has been an amazing year for, you know, for me, it really has been an amazing year from start to finish. But yeah, 2023 was needed and essential in order to get there, but it was absolutely really hard. Like, had a big life change, like split up with a long-term partner and moved into like a house, which is amazing, absolutely love them, but there was so many life changes.
Went freelance, isn't it?
Like, yeah, everything changed in that year. And to be where I am now, where it's actually like, yeah, not feeling like you said, like need to be this version of myself, but actually just have spent the year finding my more like relaxed version of myself.
Yeah, enjoying the process.
So nice. Yeah, like life is really, really good now, and I just feel so much more relaxed. I think it was either like everything's really, really good or everything's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And now I'm just able to kind of keep a bit of perspective on all of those things, even the really good times and even the really bad times. It's a little bit more perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, things really good. The one thing I need to get better at is like my discipline, because I spent like 7 years.
She's always late.
In like a stressful job, and so now that I've become freelance, I just have been like,
she's a free spirit.
Fuck it, if I'm allowed to swear. I'm like, well, like I've been stressed for 7 years, so I'm gonna like just not stress myself about anything. So
she's just gonna show up late.
So it's really bad. And I just, if I'm hungry and I want to go, I was late because I went to Sainsbury's rather than getting on the bus because I wanted a snack. And it's like, no, I need some discipline. Okay. So that's something I need to work on, definitely. But
that's okay though. Because I feel like you're obviously enjoying being more free, and like if you've, like for me as well, I've been in like fight or flight mode my whole life until this last year. So you're allowed to have that bit of time where you're just like, do you know what, I'm just going to do the opposite and just be completely relaxed. But then recognizing that maybe, okay,
there's a
next level up is I need to now get a little bit more discipline. There's always something to work on.
Yeah.
Like none of us are perfect. There's always something to work on. There's always something to do. But just that kind of awareness is good, because some people go through life with their, which is also fine, but they go through life with their flaws and they're completely unaware and they're just living their life and no one really is that bothered. So the fact that you're aware of your like flaws, not that it's a flaw, but the fact that you're aware of what you can improve, I think is such an amazing thing, because you can always like level up, you know. And I don't think you weren't that late.
No, but I'm late to everything. Like everything.
I'm just laughing at myself.
It's just
another person.
I don't know why. It's like 2 of the people in the room. And I want to do more yoga and I want to work out more because I've had a crazy summer. I did 7 festivals this summer. I went to straight after the last festival, Shambhala, which is amazing. Anyone who's wants a festival recommendation, Shambhala is amazing. Then I went to Greece for a week, and then I've just come back from Paris. So it's been mental and amazing. But now I'm ready to like get cozy in autumn and winter
and set some goals
and do some self-care and work hard a little bit on you know, pushing to the next step in the career.
Amazing. This is what I mean though about enjoying where you are, is like you I don't know how to explain it, but you're like, you know what your next steps are and you're just enjoying the right, well now I'm going to do more yoga, now I'm going to have more discipline. You're just like in the time that you're in. And I think always leveling up and always like thinking of the next thing is so good, but like just being happy where you are as well. I don't know, it's just good.
I was thinking about this like on the way in and yesterday as well. It's like I don't know which is a better perspective, but I kind of feel like they both have the same outcome, which is you can either think like, oh, life is long, so we should like keep having like be feeling so optimistic because life is really long, or we can think life is really short, so equally like gives a kind of productive like mindset. And I was just thinking like, which is like
interesting,
the way in which you think about it. But either way, I think, I don't know, it makes whatever perspective you have, I think you can still turn it on to like a positive
definitely
outcome.
Definitely.
I do have a question actually, because I'm trying to get in a bit more self-care into the routine, because I don't really have that much at the moment. It's kind of just standard. So what is your like basic but like simple self-care like pleasure, would you say?
Oh, okay. What, so something I enjoy doing for self-care? Oh, God, I don't know.
Because I know mine.
I really don't know. I've got a few. I would say
just one. You're allowed to choose.
Oh God, the pressure.
Because you're really good at self-care, so that's why I'm asking.
I don't think I am.
You know?
But I think for me, something that's like been a consistent is the gym, and it's such an easy answer. It's like, oh, the gym. I love the gym. But I love a lot of things like yoga. I try and meditate every now and then, but that's not consistent. Journaling, but I'm not consistent at that. But the gym is something that has stayed consistent, because whether I'm feeling great or I'm feeling crap, it always makes me feel good. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I can go to the gym 3-4 times a week, which I do, and not lose any weight. And I'm like, why am I bothering? But it's not just about that. It's mentally, it makes me feel good. And I do feel like I'm very strong physically. There's just a layer of fat over it, so you can't see. I literally said this yesterday. I was like, I have muscle. It's just hidden under all the fat. But it's a good thing, because I feel like I am strong, and that makes me feel confident. And I'm like, I don't know, it's just something about the gym that just makes me happy. So yeah, that's probably awesome. Mine. What's yours?
That's been amazing how like committed you've been to it, whether you've been
can't tell
in the job. Yeah, you can.
But it's mentally for me more than physically, it keeps me sane.
But like, yeah, whether you're in full-time employment, whether you're freelance, like you've still been going to the gym, which I think
it's my constant.
Is amazing. Like,
didn't go in Ibiza, but hey ho, making up for it now.
Yeah, I need. We should go to the gym together. Why have I not thought about this before? Do you go near in Elephant and Castle?
I go to Pure Gym.
Okay.
Because you can go, anyone that's in London, it's amazing. You just pay one price, I think it's like 50 quid a month, and you can go to any Pure Gym in London. Or anywhere in the country, actually. If I go back home for a week, I can use the gym there.
I feel like that would motivate me. If you're going, then I would come.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good. I think the reason I like Pure Gym, being able to use any of them, is because if I'm away with work, or if I'm traveling somewhere, there's always a Pure Gym nearby, so I don't have any excuse. And I really enjoy going to different places. So like the fact that I can go to a different gym and see a different layout, and I might see a machine that I don't normally have access to, and I'll be like, oh, that one, I'm going to try that one today. I like that.
That's cool.
It mixes it up, you know?
Yeah.
But what's your
Mine is not as impressive as that. It's actually completely not impressive at all. But my like self-care that I just feel the best is like literally just moisturizing my whole body from top to toe. It's just like the best feeling. I just genuinely think it's the best feeling ever. It is.
I get a little bit bored with that though, because I'm a tan addict, as we know. So I head to toe moisturize and tan every other day.
That's what I mean.
So it gets, I don't know, it gets a bit samey for me, because I'm like, oh God, I've got to moisturize it, because then I have to wait 10 minutes between the moisturizing and the tanning.
Yeah.
For the moisturizer to go in. So for me, it becomes a bit of a chore. But if I didn't tan, I would enjoy it.
I was gonna say, maybe if it's becoming a chore, maybe you don't need to.
I don't want to be pale. I just don't suit my skin color. That's the problem.
I'd love to see you like completely
you wouldn't.
sans tan.
No, I've been my natural color once in the last 10 years, and my nan asked me if I was ill, so we're not going there again. Absolutely not. So I think we've only got about 10 minutes left. So on that note, let's talk about a little bit more self-care, and a little bit about sort of spirituality as well. Kind of ties in nicely to that. Because there's a few things I do that kind of link with that I would say are self-care. And my way of caring for myself is to feel, I don't know, connected to like nature, and connected to like my body, like through yoga and that kind of thing. So yeah, I guess my first question on that subject would be, what does spirituality mean to you?
What does it mean to me?
Yeah. Because it means different things to different people, I think. Some people are like, what is spirituality? Well, I don't think any of us really know, but what does it mean to you?
To me, I think about this a lot, because I've had people in the past who kind of challenged my spirituality.
Same.
And I think anyone who does say they're spiritual or talks about spirituality or spiritual themes, they definitely have experienced people challenging them.
Yeah.
So it's something that I think about a lot. And at the moment, I think it's something that also will evolve. Like, I don't think you're ever going to say, oh, this is what it means, it's going to stay forever. I think that's the whole point of it, is we basically continue to grow and evolve. And that is what spirituality means, is a continuation,
evolution
of unlearning everything that we thought we needed in order to be pure, joy, happy, whatever you want to
authentic. That's a nice, I like that word.
Like that pure essence of like peace, and like authentic you. Like it's a continual process of taking away and unlearning all of that. And also spirituality means to me trust. So, and faith. Like, I know faith, it can be associated with like religion.
Yeah.
But I try and take away that religious association and just take the word faith, and it is kind of just like trust.
Yeah.
So I find it really interesting to actually, it's not like a faith as in a religion, it's just a trust in that maybe there is some kind of guidance, maybe we are being guided.
Yeah.
And that is where the spirituality aspect comes from.
Yeah.
For me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
And I love it. And it just some people are more logical thinkers and some people are more creative thinkers, and obviously
it's quite free. I think spirituality is like a freedom for me.
It's making sense of the world and how it works. It's such a crazy, we're on this big rock and it's like in the middle of nowhere.
We've created these boundaries for
really
ourselves.
Crazy.
Like, we've created the 9 to 5, we've created buildings that we have to go and work in. Like, what we've created is just madness, really.
And it's trying to like see what other messages we could like be open to, not just the ones that we've created. To not be closed-minded, I think, to other people's ideas, because I think some other people or other types of messages, like messages from nature or messages from your instinct, like exactly, so to be open-minded, I think. Okay, that's quite similar to what it means to me, really. I think for me it's like, I think at the core it's being in touch with my spirit and like not losing that like not losing touch with who I am at my core. And then when you said like trust, for me personally, and I think it can be different things for different people, but for me personally, it's trust in the universe and trust in the process. I always say trust the process. And it's like, for me, some things have happened where I've thought, oh my God, like that's not what I wanted to happen, but it's worked out for the best. So like, for example, when I initially took the job that I do at the moment, it was only freelance. And I was like, oh my God, that's not what I wanted. I need something secure, But in that happening, it became the best thing that could have happened, because I learned how to be self-employed and how to do my finances. And I really took the plunge with the podcast. So it's like trusting that something, like you say, something is guiding, and there's something. It's a weird one, because I know a lot of people don't, not a lot of people, but some people don't believe in this, and they'll say like, oh, it's all like kind of like pie in the sky stuff. But for me, I think the more you trust in the process, the more the process has your back, reveals itself. Does that make does that make sense? So like, some people might think it's rubbish, but it works for me. So I'm like, I trust the process, and the more I trust the process, the more the process seems to guide me to where I need to be. So absolutely, couldn't agree more with that one. It really is a case of like, the more you give to it, the more you're kind of putting up a beacon, being like, I'm available for guidance, tell me what to do, and it will then kind of like be able to suss you out more. So I think as well,
when I say about kind of like being in touch with your spirit, I think, see, again, people believe different things, and I don't know if I'm fully there, like you say, always evolving. I don't know if I'm fully there in like my beliefs and what I think happens, but I feel as though for me, being in touch with my spirit means being in touch with the world and the planet. So like some people believe this even deeper than I do, which is why I'm saying like I'm always evolving, but I'm trying to learn how like nature and being connected to the planet nourishes my soul. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making any sense here. That all sounded like absolute gobbledygook.
No,
but
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to like learn how nature impacts me as a human, because I do think we are all linked. I think the planet, everything in it is linked in some way, and I'm still learning about all of that. But I know on a basic level, if I'm feeling down and I go outside and I am at one with nature and I have that connection, it does make me feel better. So I have had people, like you say, people have challenged it, and there's been people that said that, you know, oh, you want to go and stand on the grass with no shoes on, how stupid. And it's like, well, actually it makes me feel better. So if it works, it works.
It
you
does
know
work, yeah.
And who cares what anyone else says? Like, it works. There's got to be something in it.
It really
so
does.
Yeah, I think,
I mean, mate, I'm at the level of like tree hugger situation.
there is something
I really
in
am.
that.
Like,
I want to hug a tree and I might do it, but I just feel like in London it's
who cares? Like, who cares?
I
If
know, I
someone
agree.
sees me
I
hug a
agree.
tree, I am so okay with
This
it.
is it.
Because I always just think maybe they want to hug a tree
And
and
they're
they
too
don't
scared.
because they've not
Yeah,
seen anyone else hug a tree.
exactly. You're spreading the love.
I'm spreading the love.
So you're a little bit more advanced with me in terms of like your comfortability, I think, whereas I'm still kind of learning.
The only
It's
reason,
still like a very,
yeah, but
people are looking.
I think like the only reason I like do that is because I know how much it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, but
I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it.
Genuinely, if I'm having a really bad day, like the amount of times I had left work, like when I was working full time, and went at lunchtime and literally just like held a tree just to like.
It sounds so funny when you say it, but there is something. I've heard so many people say this.
It's even like the texture of the bark. Like you have not felt anything like it.
Yeah.
Anything that's man-made just
I've
does
touched a
not
tree because I was too
feel the
scared to
same.
hug it, and I was like, I'm just gonna do this and hope that no one notices.
Just casually lean up it.
And it does. It's weird because people that
Definitely
are
done
doubters kind of have told me this is absolute crap, and I'm like, yeah, but I can't put my finger on what it is, but like touching and being in nature, it does have an impact for me anyway. Like it makes me feel, so even just like leaning on a tree and having my feet in the grass and like feeling the grass, you just feel different. And I think as well, I'm a sun baby, so I love the sun. So being out in the sun instantly, like on a winter's day, I really struggle because there's not as much sun. So the minute there's like a couple of hours of sun in the middle of the day, I have to be outside in it, regardless of if I'm working or whatever, because I have to have that outdoorsy feeling. I have to be near grass as well. I love being near grass. If I can see green and I can see the sun, I'm so happy. So happy.
On that though, I saw a really good I'm not on TikTok, but it was a TikTok on Instagram, and it was about this guy, and he was saying like how to train your brain to not get seasonal depression.
Okay.
And he was like walking around at like 7 o'clock at night when it's now like dark already, and he was like, oh my God, that building looks so beautiful lit up. I would not be able to see those lights if the sun was out right now.
Okay. So
like,
changing the narrative.
Just changing the narrative. And oh my God, I love that shade of blue, that the sky is just so dark blue. I like really like that shade.
Making it positive.
And just training your brain, because honestly, the sun is like not going to be around for a little bit. And so it's like finding really all aspects, like trying to find the beauty in all aspects of nature, because it's really hard when the sun is not there, for sure.
Actually, you've just reminded me of a really good tip, actually, that's very in line with that. So you know, like how in the summer the sun rises like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Something I do really enjoy, and I do this quite often in London, it's really, really peaceful, because the sun rises so much later.
You can catch it.
Yeah, you can get the sunrise. So a lot of commuters in London will set off maybe like 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you catch it at the right time of year, you can get to say like Tower Bridge or whatever bridge you're closest to in London and see a really beautiful sunrise before the commuters start coming out, and it's so lovely.
Yeah.
And then obviously in the deepest of winter it does come out, I think after 8, and then it's like busy time. But then still, even seeing it when you're on a busy bus, just zoning out from all the people around you and just going, oh my god, there's the sunrise, that for me really helps. I love a sunrise, so that's a great tip. Okay, amazing.
Almost looking forward to winter now.
I know, I love it. So we've really got a couple of minutes left, so I think that ties in really nicely though with the last thing I was going to say on spirituality, and I know that you feel this as well, is I feel like manifesting is such a big thing, and I think that's how I've got to where I am.
You are the queen of manifestation.
It's a mix of absolute delusion. It's a mix of like unwavered delulu phase and manifestation, I think, because you really are. You're more advanced than me in terms of manifestation. You know, like you write it down. Oh, I write lists. You write it down. I remember you told me like is this about a partner that I had? I wasn't gonna make it specific, but you went there. I manifested a man once, guys. This actually works. No, but she actually but it was to a T. Like I made this list, and I remember the exact phase of life I was in when I met this person, and I was going to the gym every day, and I was getting so bored of being single. I've been single for like maybe 12 years. And I just was like, I'm just so sick of it now. And I was like, it's going to happen. And I just, every day I got on the treadmill and I would just read this list over and over. And I did manifest this exact person. However, what I will say is there was things I didn't put on the list. But so I've learned now that maybe there's different things. So the manifesting worked, but the knowing what I need and what I want wasn't quite there. But I feel like it was learning. So like specifically amazing way to manage. It is that I never really even thought of, because you know when you're like on the treadmill, you're like generating energy, so you're like in a high frequency state, like that's you're processing, your body's moving, you're giving up energy. So like for you to have known instinctively or otherwise that was a good time for you to like be reading that list, it's just like shows that your instincts are like so there. And that's so true. I did it with the really job cool. as well. I got a job at the same time, and I actually met that person at that job, and I was also manifesting like knowing the answers for where to work. And although I'm not working there now, the journey that my life has gone on, we wouldn't be sat here today if those things hadn't happened. I mean, I wouldn't even have met you. And I think with manifesting, because some people are like, well, how do I start? What do I do? I think it's part one is like envisioning and knowing what it is that you want to manifest, and like visualizing it. Part two, I think, is definitely writing it down. I think writing it down is really key. And do you write it down like factual, like this is this, like I have this job? Make notes. Just like I just make notes. I'm not too detailed. Is it like I want this, or is it like I have this, or does that not really matter? No, so I listened to a podcast once where they were talking about you have to say I want, or or say it like I have this, as if you already have it. I just make notes, so I don't know if maybe that works even better, but I just make a note and I just visualize it. But then I think part 3 of it is kind of like being a little bit delusional and just having the belief that these things can happen. That's like the real key. And I think, another fun thing to do, I love this, is making a vision board. Never done it. It's so good. So in my house, because I live with all women, in January, I introduced all the girls I live with to this, because I do it every January. I go out and I get a load of like magazines that are about things that I love. So I got fitness magazine, I got Vogue, because Vogue's got a lot of things in that I love. And I got us like 4 big pieces of card, some pens, some scissors, glue, whatever. So cute. And we just passed the magazines around and just cut things out and stuck them down. And I made this beautiful vision board. And I think, because we are running out of time, actually, this might be a really nice thing to finish on, is I looked at my vision board yesterday from January, and I've nearly achieved everything on there. Wow. The only things are on there, which is going to make you laugh, which I haven't achieved and I'm nowhere near, is I did stick down some wedding dresses. And a picture of 2 beautiful people getting married in the sunset. We're still single. Still single, guys. If any men are listening, we've got 2 months. Come on, hurry up. At least a ring. At least a date would be nice. Would be a good start. So we've not quite achieved that one, but I think in reality, this is where the manifesting comes in, and like the belief is when I stuck those down to the paper, I think in my head I knew that that wasn't realistic in a year to meet and marry someone. I wouldn't want to marry them that quick anyway. So in my head, that was kind of just, I knew I was doing that to be silly. Whereas the rest of it, I kind of did have belief. And I mean, I cut out and wrote, I cut out and stuck the word presenter. I cut out and stuck the word podcast. And yeah, just things like that. And like, even just yoga things were on there, and I hadn't done yoga at that point, and then I started yoga, and just silly things. So yeah, it's a really good tip. Do a vision board.
Awesome.
I recommend just get it done. It looks pretty. Stick it on your wall. You look at it every day, and you would be surprised at how, when you look back at it, how far you've come, you know.
That's amazing. I think, I guess maybe because you do it, it's even more like, that's why it works, you know, it's coming from you. So I will definitely try that.
Amazing. Have you got anything else you want to share before we wrap up? Because we are going to be kicked out of this beautiful room very soon, in literally 1 minute.
Yeah. Just that I'm really, really grateful to be on the pod, and yeah, I'm excited to see how season 2 comes.
Amazing. I actually just thought of something whilst you were saying that, because I know you asked me earlier like what the vision is for the future. I think maybe I might actually want to have a co-host for the podcast in the future. So guys, comment if you think it should be Mhairi, because I don't know if she can commit to like the time that would need to go into it, but I would love to have her. So comment if you agree.
Do a poll and then see who wins.
Yeah. Just agree with me so that she does it. So, well, thank you everybody for listening, and thank you for being on. Like, you're amazing, and you're very inspirational to me, and hopefully you've inspired everyone else as much as you've inspired me, because daily inspiration. You're just a wonderful person. So thank you.
Thanks, darling.
And thank you to all of you for listening and tuning in. And as I said, if you're in London, get down to Brewdog, check it out. It's a really, really good venue, even for a date or a drink. It's fun. If you're wanting to start a podcast, give it a go, come down, give it a try. Like, subscribe, share, download. I need downloads, guys. Download Spotify, YouTube, download.
Okay.
Yeah, and then enjoy all of season 1. This is the final episode, so 10 episodes. Have a listen. If there's any that you've missed, go back and listen in your time when you can, and stay tuned for updates on season 2. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99, in fact no, I'm going to manifest it. I'm 100% certain that you'll see this lovely lady again on season 2. So stay tuned, and I will give you all updates as and when. And thank you.
Thank you.
The Inspo pod, Brewdog, Waterloo. We're out. Thanks, guys.
Mwah.
Okay, let's stop on that.
Stop.
Yeah.